Yeah, boom.
Yes,
Live and alive on the TruMon show once again with my great brother Prashant Trivedi. PT, how are you?
I'm fine, Yannick. Fine with the PHI, yes.
Yeah,
So,
all right.
yes, yes,
Yeah, the summer is at our doors, so the nice weather
yes,
is there. Started to
yes,
stuff outside. Everything's good. So
yeah,
now
yeah,
today we are together again to extend our reflection or our thoughts on the movie that is going on in life
yes,
because I'm
yes,
sure for me and for many others life
yes,
always appeared to be unreal, like it's so uh, theatrical, like the
yes,
theater of life is so big and huge that it's
yeah,
unreal. And many times I walk in the street, I go to the store like I told you, or it seems like it's unreal, like it's a movie. So
yes,
our minds have been prepared a lot to accept this kind of life through movies, music,
yeah,
all the
yeah,
media, all the propaganda.
yeah,
But now there's something I want to look, especially in the movie, the
yes,
Babylonian movie, is
yes,
the movie character. Okay, because
right,
they are projected in our life, and for those who watch TV, I think we all, at some point, young or some point in our life, have watched TV. Like I think
yes,
it's clear until you realize that it's all nonsense and it's taking
yeah,
possession
yeah,
of your thoughts almost.
yes,
In movie, there's movie character. If I
yes,
can start by naming a few, like killers, psychopath,
yeah,
Jesus. But killers and psychopath is more, the movie character is more the superhero. Like, for example, Batman.
yes,
Suddenly we have a supposedly deadly virus going around, coronavirus, and it's been transmitted from bat to man.
yes,
And
yes,
we have Batman in movies. So I'm like,
yeah,
hey, was that to prepare us because Batman is a superhero? So
yes,
in our minds, when we are told, I'm sure this is what it does to us. This is what it does to us in the sleeping mode. Is you see Batman and then you hear that bat have transmitted to man, and it's okay. Like it does.
yes.
So I want you.
The thing, yeah, I got the picture. I got what you're trying to say. But the thing what with all this is that what happens is this, like when you have a character like Batman, like a superhero, like okay, in all these, whether it's Spider-Man, Spider-Man came before, okay, Spider,
Either way.
okay, yeah, okay, Spider, okay, so Spider or Bat, okay, so all these movies, normal people turn into superheroes by something external like a bat or a spider biting them or somehow creating a conjunction with them in some way. And just that is enough for any normal person being to turn into a superhero. Okay, which is a very strange concept because that means you don't have to do any work on yourself. You just get bitten by some spider or a bat or something, and then that will not just cause you an itch or some harm or some toxin. It'll actually make you a superhero, like Tim saying. And then if you see the Batman superhero, that it is covered with all these different like masks and clothes and all of that kind of things, which is very uncomfortable for any human being to be in. So, and right now, if you see all the people like in the suits and stuff and different that things in the military, police, they are dressed up in all of that. Like it somehow acclimatizes people internally that it's okay to put all this on. Like it's okay for a human being to put all this stuff on. Like right now, even like a mask, for example, like it's a very uncomfortable thing for a human being because what you're breathing out goes back in. Like that can never be a comfortable thing because it hampers your breathing. Okay, but having those heavy suits and all of that, it's not for a human being to do. But since people have seen it in the movies and Batman has these things, then it becomes more powerful, not less powerful. But having those things, so in a like a kiddish mind, these kind of things create an impression that this is the way to go. to become more powerful, right? What does this superhero? It's more powerful than a ordinary human being or average human being, like, right? So then you're becoming more powerful. So the point is, but that power never comes through that. Okay, right now you can have all those suits and you can have the guns, you can have the weapons, but that doesn't give you any power. Okay, because physical world, okay, maximum people can die, or and all of that, like, but that's not where it ends. Physical world is transitory anyways. In this, nobody lives forever. People don't understand. You live a very short lifespan here anyways, and your life here is always under threat anyways, from 100,000 ways a person can die here. So to create this kind of sense of power through this kind of dressing up or external agencies or weapons is a false programming of the mind. And that way you will never look for real power, which is the soul spirit power, which is the power of evolution, power of breaking out the matrix. You will never think in that direction. You will all focus all your energies in this direction. Okay, and the current movie which is running in the world, you're seeing all these suits and these things, and which have come from movies. Where have you seen them before? Like, all of them in the movies. So which programs the people to be fine with these kind of things. And characters, as far as these people, whatever the characters they show in the movies, like, that is just a way of letting people know that they can be like that. Okay, like they can be these psychopaths or whatever, and any things like that. It's not an actual thing. you know so just like in a lot of things which have happened around the world, like people saying that these people are blowing this thing up, and later you always found out that it was the government or those people who blew the things up, like it was not a person or anything. So it is an image which is created because normal people are not, neither equipped nor have this kind of vision to do any of these kind of things, actually, unless it is planted to them through a medium, and that medium is movie. Right? Yeah, it's planted.
And
Yeah,
also, it's interesting because all superheroes pretty much
yeah,
wear masks, and now there's this thing that pretty much it's becoming here in Canada. I think Montreal they're gonna enforce it for everyone to wear mask when they go out. Like
yeah,
what is this Twilight Zone? What is this place?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's taking away human dignity. What it's called is taking away human dignity. Okay, so, like, because you will look like a zombie basically, like wearing a mask. Okay, like, so point is to make like a world of zombies, like, like there are movies like Zombie Apocalypse, and you know so it's like when you go out you'll see like that the same zombie sort of feel and situation getting created. Okay, but now people think it's okay, just like, um, people had seen surgeons in surgery wearing those things, so people saw all those medical shows, and then it programs the mind, okay, this is okay for a human being to be like this. So it's slowly it becomes enters your consciousness once you've seen it hundreds of times, and it acclimatizes you to these kind of things, which human beings are not supposed to be doing any of these things. They're not supposed to wear these things. They're not supposed to, because human body is not made like that. you know it's it's like a full-fledged equipment by itself, human body. See what I'm saying? It doesn't need any of these extras which are being put onto it. Like, then if you keep on going with extras, then finally comes the chips and stuff, right? Because now where does it stop? Like if you keep on going like that, then you say like, okay, then they'll say, okay, when you put the chip, then your brain will run better and run faster, and that thing, then you know so it's like a sort of a crazy pathway, like of not trusting the biological human body, which has been created by higher intelligences than the ones out here right now, and not having any trust and faith in it, you know basically. So, and that's why when people, like, even with the sense of clothes and stuff, like people start wearing clothes which are not appropriate, like any additive on the human body which makes it uncomfortable and it is not fit for the human body, is a sort of like a violation of the human body. And when people start violating it themselves, like it starts with tattoos, piercings, uh, all kinds of things, and then it keeps on going. And I mean, all the movies show like it's okay, cool to have a tattoo, it's cool to have piercings. It's cool, like everything is cool, like it's cool to be having drinking all the time, alcohol. Like a lot of the superheroes actually, they drink alcohol all the time, and then they're still superheroes. Like they can fight and they can that thing after having a bottle of beer, and then they can still you know like so.
And they make it also very, very okay to kill. Like
Yeah,
it's most movie, it's all about guns, killings,
yeah,
action movies, and these
yeah,
good seller inside the Muggle world.
yeah. I mean, obviously, the thing is like uh, guns and stuff have to be made into a cool thing, because everything is like about like creating a sense of power. Okay, in places where power does not exist, like power doesn't lie in any of these externalities. It doesn't lie in the gun. The power in this universe, multiverse, lies in following the multiversal laws and principles and aligning with the force. Okay, but even the movies which hint at the force or aligning with the force, like Star Wars, they do not go into how that is done or whatever it is. Like they still try to make it more technocratic, the whole scene. They don't go into it like even the movies which hint at it, they do not go into it like so. And a normal person doesn't have that kind of discernment to understand any of these pointers or anything. They just take things for what they see and what they actually show them, and they just get the whole rockets and balls and other planets and wearing all these things. And so I think human beings have been desensitized from the human body by cinema for the last 100 years. That's what I said last time, and especially from the human body, for sure. you know and because or everything which is happening out there, and especially misuse of human body, like in terms of diet, what they're just smoking, drinking, and then actions, wrong behaviors, wrong styles of speaking, wrong styles of acting, wrong styles of moving the body, unhumble, disgraceful, uncourteous, uh, wrong ways of being. And people ape that. What do people do? People watch the movie and people ape whatever is happening in cinema. It happens in every country in the world. Whatever their cinema, people see that and people do that. Try and do that. Okay, it's monkey see, monkey do. Okay, it, and they know it. They know that. Like so, they know when they're showing something, it'll have an impact and it'll have an effect. You know, and when everything has been in that direction for so long, you know in the direction of extra things on the body, like getting bitten means the same way. Like people will think they'll get some poison from outside. Okay, and that poison will turn them into a hero, superhero. Like that's what the Batman, Spider-Man is about, right? All of these things are about one thing only. Like, and there's so many superheroes, like a Marvel series have so many, uh, and all of them become superheroes through some external something. Nothing, not by their own work. Just something external happens and they suddenly, and that's a fake dream to be giving to the masses, because that's not how things happen in the universe, in the multiverse. It does not work like that. So it's like taking people in a wrong direction, deliberately taking the sheep down the wrong path deliberately. Okay, so it's a deliberate action. So and psychologically, a lot of those movies obviously keep people in the muggle sense, like a scene, mentally, like the dramas and unnecessary dramas. And so they keep it going in a way, like where if you waste time in that paradigm, like million ways to waste time in the muggle paradigm, basically. So that's what the purpose of these movies is like.
And I think one big, big superhero that's been going around in movies for a long time, and I think everyone has been pretty much looked at it at some point, is Jesus. Like this thing of Jesus, we're talking 2,000 years ago in their
In their calendar, whatever their timeline they're saying.
and
Yeah,
now they bring it in movies. They make movie about Jesus, about, so all this is to condition the masses.
yeah. I mean, it's again. It's see, like there was a name Zeus for Jupiter in Greek times. Okay, like Jupiter, the planet Jupiter, Thor was called Zeus. Okay, now Zeus became Jesus, like
Use. Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, okay. Now the thing is that way each different graha, which is called planetary energy, like Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, like Mars, Aries, god of war, like Aryans, Aries, like okay, like all of them have their own that thing. So people were venerating different these deities in different times. Okay, but to turn this into a fiasco, which they have done with the Jesus thing, it's like a fiasco only. Like because even Jupiter or Thor would not like to see itself being hung on a cross or like any such thing. It was a joke which was made out of the whole martyr complex, like what's called the martyr complex, martyrdom. Okay, you have to be martyr for your country or this or that, your religion or something. This whole martyr complex was created through the Jesus image, and like when you do that, you do it for other people. You can't, you're doing it something, whenever you do something, you do it for yourself, you know and and it was a convenient religion actually which they got created, because where you could do anything, nothing mattered, but you could always just believe in that and everything will be good. So you didn't have to take any responsibility. It was a very convenient like yeah, yeah, highly convenient thing, and so that a lot of people fell for it. And I mean, that programming has been going on from before the movie started, you know but when the movie started, actually they focus on other superheroes because they knew that people are bored of that Jesus archetype, so they had to create new superheroes. But all of them, like even Superman, like was just by birth Superman. Okay, he didn't have to do anything, and it was just, and he just has to wear that particular clothing, and you know and so
On it's true.
and
Becomes
yeah, so that's why a lot of Superman t-shirts got sold in the masses, because people thought that just by wearing that t-shirt they'll become Superman, like like so I mean, it creates a crazy mentality in the psyche of people where they don't understand what will actually bring them up. So, and there's nothing to do with like this will evolve you, this will bring you up, and this is the work you need to do. There's no such thing. There's no movie like that in 100 years of cinema. So one has to ask why. Like there is no, yeah,
It's interesting also to see the devolution inside the movie thing, not just like the music. It's becoming very, very inorganic, like non-organic. And you,
yeah,
I used to watch Star Wars when I was young, and there was like organic interaction. Like Chewbacca wasn't computerized. Chewbacca was
no,
a real man inside a suit, and
yeah,
all
yeah,
three
not a
characters,
CGI, not CGI.
not
Yeah,
CGI exactly.
yeah,
Now
yeah,
they have brought CGI in the movies, so you
yeah,
see crazy stuff. Like now, there's that new thing, Flash. The guy
yeah,
run. I don't know what the speed, Max 7.
yeah,
Things
yeah,
that
yeah.
are really, really out of this world, and it makes. I don't know. It
Yeah,
does.
because it's nothing has to be real anymore. It's more and more unreal. Like so, they started with little bit of unreality, more. They kept on increasing the unreality. So finally, nothing real is left. You take it out slowly. You don't take it out immediately. 30%, then 40, then 50, then 60, then 70, then 80. Like slowly, you take out the reality out of things. Okay. Finally, when you're left with a skeleton of complete unreality, and that's what the stage movies were at right now before all this. Then the movie has turned into the movie of the what is called the new normal. Okay, so this is the movie which is being played because they thought like that now we can play the movie on live, because even before like live TV shows started, there was an era of live TV shows or live this thing like that, and live sort of different kind of TV. And so then they said like, okay, now we are ready for this this kind of thing. And people are have seen all those movies, so they have it in their head, all of this, you know contagion, outbreak, this epidemic, all these hundreds of these ones, and so they knew, and I think people were just ready to put anything on, like just I thought, like, even before this happened, like last 10 years, 20 years, people are ready to put, you tell them to go into this suit, they do it. If they say put your hand in this, they just do it. Like, put this on, they just do it. Like, they just don't question, okay, why am I supposed to do this? Why does the human body need this? Why does the human body need vaccines? Why does the human body need all these external things? I mean, has it not been made to last? Like, which deer needs that? Like, if a deer is born in the forest right now, like any young, so are there no contagions there? Like, why does the deer not need vaccines to
And
survive? Like, yeah,
interesting also to look at the cult forming around those iconic movies like Star Wars, Star Trek.
yeah,
Like they
yeah,
call themselves Trekkies and they go to convention and they exchange
yeah,
pictures. Like the whole industry around the movies to make.
yeah, because they think it's real, because they see it as real. Those Trekkies think that Star Trek is a real possibility, and you can actually, humanity will one day be actually going to planets in these crafts. Like, these crafts will be there, and that's what the whole NASA and everything was there to make that illusion real, seem real, that this is actually the direction we are going in. Because humans as a whole need to know what direction are we going in, right? They need a direction, right? Otherwise humanity cannot move forward. They don't know what direction are we going in, so they give them this direction, which is a fake direction, because you can't really go anywhere from like that. You can't even go out of this earth plane anywhere. You're not going anywhere, you know
You're not gonna
but
go anywhere.
yeah, but that's why they have to show the fake moon thing, or this thing on Mars, or this or that thing, because actually you're not going anywhere, but then you have to put everything in that direction. So all the mental focus, resources, everything has to go in that direction, which is not even possible. So what is that? It's called waste of time and energy. Okay, waste of time, effort, energy. It's all about wasting time, energy, and effort of beings. Okay, which will give them nothing. So in the end, people can laugh. Okay, you worked so hard, but in the end, what did you get? Nothing. Okay, for all that work. So it's a joke which is being played to keep the souls recycling, spirits recycling within the matrix. You know, so this is the matrix. If they don't give them all these different that things, then people will think, actually, okay, what is this? Where am I? What is this thing? How do I get out of here? What is the way out? What are the worlds, different worlds? They'll have all these questions, and they might start studying that and start going into that direction, which is the real direction. Okay, which is actually the reality of the that thing. But that's where all the movies have taken people totally away from that. And if anybody thinks that that is the reality, then it's very hard to argue with them about that, because they make that into their religion. Okay, for like for them Trekkies, like Trekkies is, Star Trek is the religion, right? you know and like it has some like okay things in some ways, but like it's not, overall direction is wrong. So once the overall direction is wrong, even if you put some truths, half truths in it, they don't help you. And those half truths somehow pull you in. They give you a sense of, oh, there is something there. Okay, but in the end you get nothing, because the overall surmise is wrong. Okay, that's why they have to make it interesting, they have to put some half truths into it to make it interesting. Otherwise it'll be totally boring. So like so they have to put in some little wisdom in different episodes to keep people interested or engaged, you know into it. Like, so I mean, that has happened. But I'm saying that there's a mind programming which has happened from watching these programs and movies, which has made humans dehumanized, basically, like, totally. And that is what they are ready to do with the human body. That is the number one test of that. What are humans ready now to do with the human body? you know exactly, that's what I find. Like, like some people are ready to walk around with the earplugs and phones, and I saw that all the time. Like, even walking like anywhere. Like, now that is a like a very intrusive thing on a human body. But if they are ready to do that, then maybe their next thing will be they can put a chip in the ear. The next thing, chip in the brain. Next thing, you keep on going in that direction, you'll find that you will finally become like a Terminator direction, you know. And that also they have a movie for that, Terminator, half man, half human, robotics, like half that thing, you know, half machine, half human. They've shown that in movies too, and that's the direction they're taking humans, like, which is
Yeah.
a totally wrong direction, like from a spiritual point of view, like it's a totally wrong direction. But but people have to wake up and find out for themselves that what direction, whether they are ready to lose the humanness, which is what will evolve you in the end, and be the zombie, like machine zombie, robot, Borg. There are many terms for that, Borg, and the concept of the Borg came from Star Trek and Star Wars only, like the Borg armies. Like, I mean, they show all of that, and even in the Star Wars, the Empire had all these like robots, like clones, which were fighting clones of one person, which were fighting the real people, you know. So that, I mean, it has been right there in the face, the whole thing, but it has desensitized people instead of creating an understanding. You know, it has desensitized and dehumanized people completely. Like so,
And it's
yeah,
interesting that the earpiece you said in the ear also, now that there's also that Bluetooth thing. I see all
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah,
busy people, muggles in business having with that little
yeah,
ear. So I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
you don't.
I mean, it is like you reaching a like a quasi, like it's implants and quasi robot level, like it's a direction, and just because, why do people do that? Because it gives them sense of power. Okay, that they somehow are more connected or more have more power than a fellow human being, right? Okay, it's a false fake sense of power which comes from that, actually, which is, because they have to give you some carrot. If they're going to take away your liberty of your own physical body or human body, then they have to give you some carrot for you, in order for you to like why I should take this. So, and the next time they say a chip, they give a chip and they'll say like, look, this will increase your brain activity, and you'll be more intelligent, you'll be able to think faster, you'll be able to process information faster. So then people will buy that carrot, take that carrot, basically. And you know and this is, and the whole medical thing for the last even like 100 years, it's been all like totally against the human body. I mean, now that is clear to so many people. Hundreds of alternative researchers, millions of people have know that everything in the allopathic Western medicine for the last 100 years was against the human body. Okay, and if you keep on believing in that, and keep on believing in the hospital, and keep on believing in these things, then whatever is happening is what is happening now. Like, because you trust the doctors, because doctors are gods, right? Like, doctors are gods. I mean, they are not like, they are the heroes now, and they were gods and heroes. So, and what are doctors? They're just people who have been taught by the pharmaceutical companies to just give whatever new stuff they are making. Like, that's all. They're just their agents.
Yeah, they're
So,
agents. They're
yeah,
intelligent. They're intelligent, intel
yeah,
agent.
yeah, yeah. And but people have had developed so much faith and trust in doctors, which is another actor of sorts. Doctor, a actor is okay, okay. Um, it is just playing the role of that, like, it's just a role play, like Jim saying that I'm here to heal you, I'm here to cure you, but it's not, so
And the
yeah,
Doctor Duck and Duck reverse is cod. Cod is a fish.
yes, yes, yes. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's an acting job only. Like, I was not saying, like, okay, like that's also another, you just because you've been told that you have to give this pharmaceutical stuff, and you call yourself a doctor just by, so that's not any kind of anything, and this whole faith in the medical system has finally led to what is happening right now. You must agree with that. Like, what is happening right now is because of the faith in the medical system, right? Like, if people were not believing in the medical system, then none of this will happen right now. Okay, people will say that's nonsense. I mean, I'll take care of my body, I'll cure it with the herbs or whatever. I don't have to listen to you, you know. So so yeah.
Another thing I wanted to bring up is there's superhero with mask, like we said, but there's some without mask, and that's another. I think they're conditioning us to something there too, like James Bond. Like he doesn't have a mask, but to me, he's like super great in movies. So like
Oh, James Bond, you talking about?
James Bond,
Okay,
James Bond,
okay,
like
okay.
he doesn't have a mask. So why do you portray some superhero with mask and some without? Like
Yeah, because I think like on a basic human level, you know, like people do not want to go in the direction of wearing helmets all the time, right? You know, it's not something which everybody appreciates. So, but you have to take those people in as well, the ones who do not go with that kind of thing. You have to give them something too, because there will be a part of the population will not be okay with this helmet wearing, mask wearing nonsense and stuff like. So you have to give them something instead to do. But all those people always working for the system. If you note those heroes which don't have the mask, but they're still pro system, they're always saving the queen or some system, right? So there is a catch.
there is a
So
cat.
there is a catch for that. Like, yeah. To,
And
yeah.
another theme or characters that we saw
Yes.
not in movies and make us accept almost that Indians were bad is the cowboy in Indians. Like especially here in Canada and US, like sometimes
Yeah.
the minds of the
Yeah.
masses are molded to that the Indians are the villain when it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Because that's where through movies you can give show anything in any light. Basically, you can create yourself to be the hero and the rest to be the villains any which way you want. Okay. So whatever people are funding the movie or making the movie, like they will always denote the other party as the villain. Okay, and that's what happens, like in this kind of thing, because I mean, if it's not the native population of Canada or America which was there, they're not the ones making the movies. Okay, so they have no say in it, what they are like or what they're portrayed to be, right? They have no say in it. The beings which are making the movies, they want to show this particular people. Otherwise you cannot like show why these people were killed or why they were treated like this. You have to give some reason, right? So the reason you make up through the movies. Okay, that doesn't have to be reality. That's why it's called a movie. Movie is not reality. And that's what I said last time. People have to understand that movie doesn't show real history or real reality, or it's got nothing to do with any kind of reality whatsoever. And that's what a mature adult should understand, that this is not reality. Just because it's shown in a movie doesn't mean that's how it is. Okay, so that's a basic point which everybody needs to understand. They can't be, and they've taken away any concept of any like real teacher or anything, real guru or anything like that. So then movies have taken over that role of being the teacher and the guru. Okay, like right now people learn from movies. What is the history, what are these people? Movies show, tell everything, people about everything. Okay, so then the directors, that means the directors and the script writers in wherever they're sitting, they have become the teachers. Okay, and nobody sees what these people are like. What are the script writers and directors actually like? Are they in any condition and position to actually teach the masses in their own life? What is their own life? What is their qualification to be teachers of humanity as a whole? You know what? So, but that is not gone into, because they're hidden. The script writer and everything, all these things are hidden behind, isn't it? Like you cannot go to them. You, it's a thing which doesn't come forward in front of you. You know, so people don't even know who is teaching them all this stuff. And behind that, the all the like these like movie like media companies, and who runs those companies, and who are the people behind those companies. This whole thing, the web goes into that, and people don't know actually who is this telling us all this, who is teaching us what is being taught in schools, who is teaching what is coming in the movies, and everything, who is doing any of that. Like, so that's what creates the matrix. And that's why people are such sheep. They call sheep for believing in this kind of thing, which no one should believe in, even in any right mind. You know, when you're watching a movie, you should think, okay, this is a movie. Like, this is not reality. Like, okay, so yeah,
Interesting also to see how they
yeah,
demonize a certain category of people or certain
yeah,
take for example Indian native people of America. They have
yeah.
great costumes. Like me, I like the ones that with all the feathers on the head and everything. The big ones.
Yeah, I mean, more than that, it's like connection with nature. Okay, those beings, wherever any beings try to have connection with nature or connect with the spirit and that kind of thing, that is put down. Okay,
Exactly.
because then that doesn't fit the agenda, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, a person who is into nature, for example, like, and connected with nature, you can't make them wear a mask. You cannot. You cannot make them wear these helmets or these things and all of these things. You cannot make them do it. You can try, like, they would rather die, but they won't do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Death is okay for them. Okay, but that is not okay. Like, so then if you glorify those kind of people, and if you turn them into a hero, then the whole world will be very different, isn't it? Even one movie like that will create a huge change in consciousness. Okay, shift. And that's what you can't have. I mean, that's why when they made Avatar movie or whatever, even, they showed it like it was a cartoon. They showed it like it was a hologram world. You have to go into it through a machine. Like, they didn't show it like real people. So it should stays in the realm of the fairy tale, not reality.
Also Jewish people from but there's the Jewish from Ethiopia, but there's also other, they call themselves Jewish around this world. So
Yeah.
they are put down also. I'm not saying I don't know too much, but I know there's certain category of people that are put
I
down.
mean, that is just name giving. You can give them any name.
Yeah,
That is a label.
label.
Finally, if anybody's connecting with nature or divine, really, that is never going to be the hero.
But the biggest one
Except
I think is the native people of whatever country. It can be Canada, US,
anywhere in the world, whether it's Australia, Africa, Asia, North America, South America, does not matter where, Europe, it does not matter. Point is connecting with nature, connecting with divine higher forces. That is not shown anywhere as anything, you know, like, and so that's what the thing is, like that's where the whole system is, because your agenda is totally different. You are taking the world towards a nightmare of dehumanization of, so like, then people have a choice. Like, right now people have to wake up, like, and stuff, and see whether they want this. Even the medical thing, in the last 100 days, you notice, like, there's so many machines, when to people like when you go to a hospital, all you see is a lot of machines and these things, which tubes and things they put on you and all of that. But that's not a human thing, right? Like, it's a very unhuman, inhumane
in you.
way of inhumane way of curing anyone. I mean, if that is curing, then a person should rather die, you know like, so that is all very that thing, and people were happy with that. People watch these medical shows. I think there are a lot of people who watch medical shows and everything and medical things on TV, and they were fine with it. And they check, okay, are you fine with this? Okay, if you're fine with this, then we'll give you more. Okay, with the next step. Okay, because you can't give people more unless you have to see where they what they're fine with first, like, so, but can't be anything. Human interaction has to be minimized, really. Like, everything has to happen in a robotic, unreal fashion. Like, and that's why they brought in a lot of CGI and all this in the last 20, 30 years, which made it even more inhuman, the whole interaction and everything, So,
And it's interesting also the reality TV that they called. Like now it's court on TV, medical shows on TV, anything fixing cars on TV. All these reality shows. They what is exactly the transition purpose into this? Because you didn't have reality shows on TV 10 years
but
started.
they only show reality, which wastes time. For
Okay.
reality for them is only wasting time. Okay. There's no other reality except wasting time. Okay. Whatever way human time on earth can be wasted, in whatever way possible, will be TV. You
Uh,
can call it reality, unreality, whatsoever. So that they should never learn what to do with this body, how to get higher, how to use this tool. Okay, which is like given by the creator. Okay, human body is being created by some beings with much more intelligence, whatever you might want to call them. Okay, so it has a purpose. It is a particular thing which has been given. So to utilize that, none of that is of any that thing. There's no reality TV show about that. Okay, but about anything which wastes time in whatever way possible is going to be everywhere, and that's same with music also. Like music also, as long as it's not saying anything, you know people are not saying anything, as long as it just keeps people in a like a good enough happy state to go to their job or do things, just keep them upbeat a little bit, you know
yeah.
not, yeah, just enough to make them do things in this world. That's all. Because sound is a very big tool, right? Music is a big tool. Okay, so you can create like in a, like with a minor chord you can create a sense of uh, tragedy. With a major chord you can create a sense of more upbeatness. So there is music has got its science to it, what you can do and how you can affect human emotions through sound, so all of that has been used. And in movies combine both sound and visuals. Okay, they so even the sounds which have been coming in movies have become more and more harsh and clinical and cold and over time, but people have not noticed it. From 60s to 70s to 80s to 90s, it's going in that direction, but it's happening in such a slow rate that people don't notice what is happening with the sound even in the films. How edgy,
Yeah.
how all of that is it's happening. It's for fragmenting your brain. Now the sounds which are there in movies is to create fragmentation inside your brain. So
and,
like,
and also you can there's
yeah,
sound that are almost not, you cannot perceive them, but they're there, like in the
yeah,
background, and sound that
yeah,
really affect you, and you have them
yeah,
using.
yeah. You need a different equipment to figure that out and find what the sound is like. There's equipment which can find that out even sometimes in like if you use graphic equalizers, they can tell the background noise which they put and everything. So but the thing is that even the sound which is there is very like sharp, jarring, and like robotic and machine and everything, like which is all pushing you in that direction where like right now people who are going around in these big hazmat suits, you know you need to be a certain kind of person to wear that and go around. Like if I tell you to wear that and go around somewhere, I'm sure you will not be able to do that. Like, okay, so you require your brain to be in a certain kind of way, you know no matter how much anyone pays you to do that is not a like a human thing to do, you know so that's yeah.
So me, it's that mask thing. I just thought of something. Is that why they pay people? Because there's that thing in Canada now. You can receive if you're out of work or anything, you apply on the Canadian government site, and you can have a
Yes.
PTU, which is a prestation canadienne d'urgence. But it
Yeah.
comes in like it's very very fast. You apply a day or two after, you have $2,000 in your account. Is that to buy people from the muggles from wearing that mask and accept the measure, and I'm paying you to accept the measures? Like,
Yeah, I mean, whatever it works, like incentive, fear, whatever, you know, either you give incentive. That's an incentive, like you give some carrot, like incentive to the people. So then people accept that, or fear, or something, whatever works, you know. But point is finally like whether being human and evolving, taking, understanding that you're human, you're not a machine or whatever. That is the main point here. The fight here is fight for the human thing. That is what is under attack. You know, either you're going to be a zombie or you're going to be a human. You can't be both at the same time. So they're tilting the thing more in the zombie direction. Like right now, if you look at the scene, it looks like a zombie scene, right? Not a human scene anywhere. So, so yeah.
There's another word also interesting. You said the wasting time. As long as they waste time, it's okay in Babylon. There's also this thing that you say you're wasted when you drink too much. Drinking is an influence,
Wasted, yeah, wasted.
but the wasted, it's not just when you are drinking, it's when you're wasting
Yeah.
time. You see, but the
Yes.
programming is that you're wasted if you drink too much.
Yeah. 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 So I mean, because obviously that is wasted again, because in terms of like you can't function, right? Like if you drink too much, you can't function. But again, if you are wasting time in other ways, you can't function even at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't function either way. Like it does not matter. Yeah. So I mean, and right now, if you're wearing all of that, this hazmat suit, you're not functioning anyways. You can barely walk. People are walking like zombies wearing that. Like you even taking 10 steps is tough for people like wearing that. So it, I mean, it creates a sense of comedy for the ones who are watching. Because who have created this thing, it's sense like that these people are actually accepting that they're actually, I mean, that's why you see a lot of people at the top, like they don't wear the mask. Like, you know, why are they not wearing the mask if they know this is such a yeah. I mean, yeah,
There's many influence in movies. Okay, we have talked about smoking, drinking. We said killer before, a kind of psychopath trait in movies. There's a lot of murder. There's a lot of people dressing up. And me, I go out in the Babylonian movie, and everybody has costume. So this thing to dress up people in movies also is affecting us a lot. And the makeup that the ladies wear in
their makeup and everything. Like most of the movies are about drugs and guns and
yeah,
okay. So drugs are the most important thing. Guns are the most important thing. You just have to make money. Drugs, take drugs, money, drugs, guns. That's all. Like so. So people are just showed that that's what this world is about. Okay, do you know what I'm saying? So like because music industry has been connected with drugs all the time. And the that thing is drugs. Everything is drugs. Like like the movie industry, everything. So in the West, especially, the drugs became such a big thing. And alcohol is also a drug, but in the other countries, alcohol is big. No matter what, every country has its own different things which they put. But mostly, as a whole, it's about drugs, guns, and all of that. Like every movie is about that. You know, it's so then people think that's what the world is about, and they think that's all they are here to do. There's nothing else to do in this world except doing these things. And because they see that all the time, like it's repeated over and over again. And unless you have a discernment, unless you're already a very discerning sort of being, you'll not be able to see through all this thing which is being thrown at you. So that's why I mean, I tell people to always take care of control of their own body and mind first. Okay, become a discerning human being. And if you don't do that, then the amount of influences there are in this world, you'll not be able to go past them. You will get trapped in one of the different vices which the matrix gives. Okay. So,
okay. All this propaganda, we're going to finish with what I have here, but it's very interesting, and it's something that have been asked in the comment section on YouTube from viewers. And all these movies, all that propaganda that we've been submit to for the last, let's say, 60 years, probably now, 60, 70 years, have created a whole bunch of personality disorder. Okay, we can talk about ADHD, autism,
yeah, autism.
vaccines, and all that. Vaccines is part of the propaganda for me.
Yeah,
PTSD, bipolar, anger, paranoid, antisocial, borderline, narcissist,
Yeah.
cluster C, avoidant, dependent, obsessive
Yeah.
compulsive, and
Because brain fragmentation, it's called mind fragmentation. Okay, basically all these come under, all of them come under mind fragmentation. Okay, so
my
there's only,
hold on, my question relating to that is PT. Is there someone, probably you, you're one of those, but there is some beings without disorder? Is
yes, I mean obviously to be without disorder requires discipline. Okay, there is one word. Okay, there's one single word in English language which takes you out of disorder. Okay, and that word is discipline. Okay. Okay, so when you take control of your own body, physical body, and your diet and yourself, okay, and your focus is that, not what they're showing, not what any of this, see what I'm saying, then only you are out of this. Okay, like then you can't have this. For that, like you have to have this very clear that, like, I'm a being, I'm connected to nature and divine. I'm gonna take control of my body, which is what I can take control of. And I have to have discipline. Okay, that is from like any age, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 17, 20, any age, you have to have that discipline, and that word is the most important word. Okay, and that is what like puts people out of this, all of these disorders which they're trying to, that thing, because then because there is a sense in nature which I call it natural sense, common sense. We have talked about it before in my talks with you, like, many times. So then you have that common sense and natural sense. Okay, and that is the most uncommon right now, because of what all ADHD, all of these things, the mind fragmentation which they have done. Okay, so people don't have any focus, people don't have any ability to put attention, because and for that, like, what is that? It's undisciplined. Okay, you suddenly go on your people go on, kids go on their little that thing, like their mobile, and then they start playing a game, and 3 minutes later they start doing something else, start playing another game, start. What is all this? It's lack of discipline, isn't it? Why can't you control yourself? I mean, it's not that interesting. Whatever, you, even if you play it 2 3 times, you'll get bored after 2 3 times. So why do you still do it? Because then, if you don't do that, you will have to uh, face that you have a physical body, you are a human being, and you will have to actually come to terms with that. Okay, you are running away from that. You're running away from your own body and yourself, actually, mostly. And that's why these distractions are being given to you on top. That's all. And you're running and you're running and you're running away, but you can't run away from yourself. Okay, like, so that's what's happening out there. And that's where, like, even in this movie which is playing right now, dehumanization is the biggest thing. You can't touch, you have to stay away, no human touch. What is happening right now? Human touch is not possible. Okay, you know because you cannot, like, 6 feet, this thing, that thing, you know like gloves, masks. So whatever little humanity is left, human interaction is left, physical interaction, that should finish. You can see that, like, that's what it is about, right? Like, whatever little humanity that is left should finish. Okay, I mean, this whole thing is dehumanization for me. The whole thing, in one word, as a whole. People are saying it's all 100 things, or this thing, or that thing, or that thing. It's not. It's dehumanization. Okay, and it's been going on for a long time. It's been going on for a long time. And I've been, even in my talks prior to you, we were talking about, I was talking about all these kind of things. How are people accepting of this or this and that? And, whether it's the medical system, whether it's the movies. I mean, if movies are being dehumanized, then people can say, I'm not going to watch that movie. And then people making will have to change, right? Like, they're rebelling now, but they should have rebelled against all these things. They should have not accepted this kind of music, this kind of movies, this kind of things, this kind of medical system, this kind of fake science. You can't be accepting of all these things, from the beginning. Now all of it all comes together. in one package, and now you have to fight it all together. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
Because if I go back to the list that I gave you, all the disorder, dependent, like most people are dependent on the system. So that's why I'm saying everyone that I meet in the street have some kind of disorder.
yeah, yeah, because they never touch their ground, feet on the ground, right? Like they never touch their feet on the ground. Okay, they never have any. I mean, a lot of these disorders can be like cured very, very simply. A lot of them just by touching the feet on the ground, like going into nature, like connecting with nature. A lot of like take control of the body. It's not very hard to get out of this kind of thing, but you need to have discipline, like centering yourself all the time, like all this, like you have to have this thing. I have got to do this because I mean it's like a battle. If in war, like you can't be lazy, right? Like in any war, like then the other being will get you or something like that. Like like you have to be proactive from your side, like and doing the right things from your side. No matter what they do, that's not important. It's what you do with yourself which is more important. Nothing but what outside agencies are doing is not important at all. Even in this time, it's what you do with yourself is the most important thing. And that's when people understand that, then majority of the disorders are already gone. Like, once you understand this basic concept, like right now also there's so many Twitter channels, that people will be shouting about them, right? But they'll never come into like what one should be doing. Like that is not anything which anyone would want to talk about, like Jay saying, or go into. And my thing, even my book, we did so many chapters. It was all about that only. What to do with your own body, about centering, or like what you speak from your mouth, pure principles, all these things, which is taking control of your own actions and self. You know, like no matter what is happening from the outside world or anything, and that's the best way to stay out of any kind of craziness, no matter what kind of weapon, mental weapon, sound weapon, visual weapon, which they throw at you, basically, because then you're a warrior. Then you're actually a warrior. Like not just a name, like, but yeah.
That relates a lot to the African proverb: if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot hurt you.
No, obviously. So you're dealing with yourself, like you're dealing with yourself and doing the right actions, and like you focus there. Your focus has to be there because the way that thing has been designed from outside, if you go on the outside that thing, it'll all be very, very crazy, very dehumanizing, very much in the wrong direction, very much in the devolving direction. It's now that's clear, like it's very clear. It's not a mystery anymore. It's not a hidden thing. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a that thing. It's not a that thing. It's a very open thing now. Like, I mean, words like conspiracy should not be even used because if that was a term made by them only, like James saying, it should not be even in, oh, this is a that thing, because it's out in the open. I mean, how much more out in the open does it have to get? Like, like, I mean, yeah,
How
yeah,
much does it have to be in our face for us to
yeah,
start
yeah,
and see the
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's, I mean, I think in the same way, like, I mean, this whole uh, people who are doing the acting for money, okay, or different perks, whatever people are getting, like they're all actors in this game, like different kind of thing. And they have to decide like whether they want to act for money or not, like you're saying, you know because once you become a proper human being, right, like you will not act for money. you know you will not do acting for money, like you will just not do that. Like it's a very simple thing, like it's not uh, very complicated or anything like that. you know
But
so
often that's there's money involved, so you know right there what's your motivation here.
yeah, I mean obviously they're ready to pay people a whole lot, and they have paid. I mean, only actors have gotten rich in the last like 50, 70 years, like no matter what acting they're doing, whether they're acting to be politicians, or whether they're acting to be doctors, or whether they're acting to be cinema people, or whatever, like movie people, whatever acting they are doing, like for lying and acting there is a lot of reward so-called reward. It seems enticing, but all of that will not give you any reward. It doesn't give you any actual anything, but people realize that it takes a time for people to realize, sometimes 10 years, 20 years, to even realize that, like, that this doesn't give me anything, you know and so people have to decide that kind of,
One thing also that they have enforced, just to finish it, they have enforced the presence of children in movies. Like you go back 50 years ago or 40 years ago, there wasn't that much children acting in movies. Now
yeah,
there are more and more children acting, taking sometimes main role in TV shows and that. Like,
because a child is not supposed to know how to act, because a child at the age of 5, 6, 7 is just getting used to this world. Okay, they're not supposed to know how to act. Okay, how are they supposed to know, like, make up things or make up this kind of that thing or this kind of thing? A child is supposed to be normal and natural. It's supposed to just go play or want to play or do this thing or that thing. It's not supposed to come in front of camera making different faces. That's not a natural thing for any child to do. Like, I mean, baby will make whatever faces it wants to make, depends on if it's hungry, it'll make hungry, or if it's that thing, it cannot, you can't force it to make certain kind of face for something, like that's not there in children. It should not be there. And if it's there, then there's something wrong. Like, that's not children. That's not a child then anymore. It's something else. And what that is, I'm not going to go into what that is right now, but it's not definitely human child. There is something else going on out there. Like, so, uh, and it's not normal for like that thing. And then parents think that if that is the case, then their kids can be like that too at home. Do you know what I'm saying? And they want the kids to be like that, and they put pressure on them to be like that, which is wrong, because naturally nothing should be like that at all. Like, so then we go to the realm of unnatural. Okay, unnatural. Everything is unnatural, and unnatural only leads to devolution, pain, torture, and all these things. Okay, so, and that is the divine law. Okay, that's not a law of here or people of that thing, and no humans or none of these people can do anything about it. Even the controllers here cannot do anything about it. Like, even if they go in a natural way, they will be punished too, like in the same way. Like, so, like, this unnatural thing is something which people have to stay away from, like unnaturality, which is being shown through the kids and the example you gave. And you know so
it's
it
much easier, I'm sure, for producers or the director of movies to find children these days to act in movies. It was hard. Like I remember, there was a few on TV or stuff in movies, but they were mostly hard to find a good children actor, because to make a children act in front of a camera, like it's a big thing sometimes.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, so there has to be something else going on out there, which is a big topic. I don't want to go into that, like how this actually happens. But people should know it's unnatural and it's not natural. That is something which they need to know first. Like, and then you don't go in a natural direction in any way. So, like, as a whole, right now, humans have two choices right now. Are they going to be more natural, or they're going to go towards a natural direction? They have two choices. Even in this situation right now, there's only just two choices, and the whole thing is coming very clear. Now you'll have to make a decision. You cannot tiptoe around this decision. You have to basically make this decision very clearly, and it will be recorded and noted by the multiverse, whatever decision you take. It's not just here, you know divine, there are forces beyond, above, which are watching, and this decision will be seen, what decision you took. It's not just for your government or your neighbor or your this thing. It's not like that. It is much bigger than that. It is. So, yeah. So,
So thank you very much. I give thanks, PT, for again the time you have gave us here and talk about all this, putting some light on it. It was very enriching.
yes,
Again,
yes,
enriching
yes,
talk, because I don't like
yes,
conversation, discussion,
yes, yes,
enriching talk
yes, yes,
with PT.
yes,
So thank you very much, also everyone watching, and thanks also for the comments. I give thanks for all the great comments coming in. I
yes,
go once every 2 3 days, and I accept the ones that are pending. But if you post comments, for sure I will
yes,
look at it and Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Until next time.
Yeah. Until next time.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you. Bye bye.